We have found the best way to help distributors go through Randy Gage's Duplication Nation training is to have a business at home weekly session for 10 weeks. Before each audio lesson, we have an additional professional development lesson. This video is an example of week number 5's agenda. You can see we went over living life on purpose, developing a vision and mission statement, building our own personal power each week, and the emotions of this business as we build our teams.
So I thought that was a perfect way to start off this evening as we look at our visions and mission statements tonight. And we want to really look at living life on purpose. And I think I shared last week that when we first started in this business, I really limited myself to the reality I could see just this far ahead. And we have to grow our mindset to see past that. And we have to begin to see our organization for what it can become, and then to see our personal vision really come to fruition. So I want to open it up tonight to dream and dream big. And so as we think big, I wrote down a few little quotes from a number of the third-party tools that we have there for you to look at. This came from Virginia Tech. A professor said, people who regularly write goals earn 9 times as much as those who don't. Yet, 80% of Americans haven't written them down. So we're going to be writing our goals down, because those goals can change, and as we grow personally inside and our mindset changes, our goals get bigger and bigger. And so, but write them down, and you'll see that 9 times more than you ever dreamed of. And another big piece is when you hit this big dream, you chunk it down into those goals that are achievable. And then suddenly it becomes that big dream that you always dreamed of and said, someday I would love to. And so we're going to look at that tonight. So our first thing is we're going to look at what are some possibilities of your dream. So you don't have to share them with anyone, but I want you to write down on your paper very quickly a dream bigger than yourself. And this is a personal vision, not a Young Living vision yet, but just a personal vision. Like, what do you see your life being? And when you think of traditional America, we put in 40 hours a week for 40 years, and then we retire, and then sometimes we don't get to enjoy the things we always wanted to. So we want to change that paradigm shift to let's dream big now. Let's find a vehicle that can create that dream for us, and then we get to choose what we want to do. If we still love our job, we can still do it, but it's because we want to and not because we have to. But then we're allowed to have the time to do other things that we would love to do. So now this dream is going to expand, and that's something we would really encourage you to work on this week, is to dream big and allow yourself to go beyond reality just one time. Just put it out there, and you'll be surprised at what happens. When we now take our dream and we begin to look at a mission. The mission is the fuel that moves the train. What moves you in your heart? And I want to read some mission statements from people you may have known. My mission in life is to make people happy. Walt Disney. My mission is to collect all the world's information and make it accessible to everyone. Eric Schmidt, CEO of Google. My mission is to bring inspiration and innovation to every athlete in the world. Phil Knight, the founder of Nike. My life's mission is to protect and save early American farm animals, such as the American guinea hog and the Ben Franklin turkey from extinction. Rebecca Jones, rancher. These are the missions that fuel the train that you're going to drive. And so when you look at your personal mission, it has to be something from the heart. something that drives you. Because we're asking you to give up 7 to 10 hours a week, and heck, you could go down and get a newspaper job or a waitress job and get a few extra $100 a week, but we're talking a vehicle to feed your dreams. And that gives the inspiration to go to work every day. Does that make sense? And so as we look at our personal mission, that's the fuel. Now we have to pull that personal mission into a business mission because the IRS says we need a business plan. But I really truly feel it has to start from that personal mission, what's in here. And that's why I said my personal mission is I want to change the statistics. It drives me like nothing else because of what has happened in the past. And I know that I can't do it alone. It does require other people. And so we depend on more than just one person, more than our own personal skills. It takes everyone. It takes a real true vision. But it starts with our own personal mission. Now the vision, that's where your personal legacy comes in. But the vision has two parts. The business part, we want to see our organizations for what they can become. I want you to think about, we started talking about the comp plan last week. And we have you at the top. And this week I just drew 5 circles, but you can draw 6 or whatever. But we have 8% on our first level. And then in the perfect world, if those 5 talk to 5 of their friends, that's 25 people at 5%. And that's where we stopped and we talked about, well, that's not real inspirational yet, is it? And that's just the unilevel. We're not talking about the bonuses and everything. But look what happens as we the one person helps 5. And we equip those 5 so well that they either love the product so much that they want to give a recommendation, or they want to do what we do and share the message. Just 5. Look what happens when you equip those 5 so well. They each equip 5. And then those 5 equip 5. We don't even know these people down here, but look what it can evolve into. Does that start getting heart pitter-pattering? 5. But look what happens as our organization begins to grow. When we have 625, now we're at $2,500 a month. And that's just unilevel we're talking about. That's not generation pay yet, and that's not the bonuses. Bonuses are paying 25%, and then 10% as we help each one of those. So do you see how it can go? And we only have to know 5 or 10 people. Isn't that exciting? But what we have to do well is equip. And this is how you grow in an organization. And the only difference between you and Michael and I is we've just done it longer and just helped more, equip more leaders. And that's just years. So you'll be there you'll be there faster. And so it's really cool when we look at this room. I really feel that every one of you is a diamond. And a big congratulations to Alicia, who just made executive. And you were like $100 away. $14 away from executive. Sonia went executive. Krista had her first party. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Good for you.
You had parties. You were with people. More meetings mean more money.
Yes.
Now listen to the discussion after listening to disc number 5 of the Duplication Nation. Encourage everyone to participate in that discussion.
So the woman's probably not going to want the car as much as she's thinking about the home
Right.
that she may.
So he differentiates between that. And he said, his quote is that part-time, 7 to 10 hours, focused activity, and it results in a 2 to 4 year plan to complete financial security. And the benefits are, and that's on your notes.
Yeah.
I don't know which of those benefits speaks to you.
Yeah.
Is it the $1 million to your church? Or is it the $1 million to buy a house?
And your church 10% got it.
And so he says have an altruistic goal and a materialistic goal when you're speaking to that person. And then he drew the circles and he said 20 some minutes of circles. Because what I'm learning too is you're drawing a vision of where it can go. And that was one thing I think I lacked for a while. I draw the circles, but I never actually connected it for that person. I was so excited to draw the circles, I forgot to connect it to them. You know, and that was I think a huge mistake.
I can understand how that helps tremendously, because especially if you put 5 people on your chicken list on there, even if you haven't gotten Sandy's own chicken list or anything yet, but putting the 5 people up there, they can actually see it happen versus just thinking, well, I can put people in there eventually.
Yes.
And it feels like some of the work is already done because there's the people already.
Yep.
Well, yeah, I think it's seeing it versus talking about it.
Yes.
It's more real seeing it up there with the actual names in
Yeah.
it versus
It's like a
saying the
to-do
exact
list.
same thing. It's just more real.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, there's
Well,
a connection.
And it's just what you were talking about, thinking big and writing those goals down. You're writing them down, you're writing those names in there.
Yeah.
They're seeing that. I mean, you know what I mean? It's
Yep.
a psychological.
Yep.
It's a concrete learning experience.
Yeah. And the key thing he said though during this meeting is we want to create what?
Demand for the product.
Market
and
demand.
not- I
Yeah.
thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I think so too. We want to plant the seed that it is a lucrative market demand. And that's why Young Living is growing so fast. There is such a demand for this all over the world now. Then, okay, here's another quote he said. So does this look like something you would like to explore further? So however you're doing this, if this is a second meeting business and they already have their products, you can ask about the business. So does this look like something you'd like to explore further?
And I think if they already have questions in their head lined up and they have questions they're dying to ask, that answer is always going to be yes.
Yeah.
Like if they still want to know more, then yeah, I want to explore further.
See, and this is where you can set up a separate business class and you have the business, and then you're going to go into the mentoring, and maybe that's something you can do at one of your meetings, Kathy, too, because you do such a brilliant job of mentoring that one-on-one after someone gets going. And I know maybe Kim and Trista, since that's so fresh for you guys too, can add into that, like how did that help you having a mentor? That might be a good lesson before one of the presentations.
I appreciate how adamant he was about that you don't teach to do a presentation. You're doing it in front of your role model. I thought that was,
And then after you say, so does this look like something you'd like to explore further? Remember, jump in, because what does Randy Gage say? The person that does the most bad meetings makes the most money. You don't have to do it perfect, just jump in. Our businesses will never have a breakthrough if we are comfortable. We have to step out of our comfort zone and draw the circles. By doing that, we connect for people the vision of where their organizations can grow, linking it to what they would design their life to be. Remember, you are asking people to trade 7 to 10 hours a week. Connecting a bigger vision to that gives the inspiration, because we either build our incomes or we have to shrink our dreams. You are offering people one of the greatest assets, a vehicle to fulfill their someday dreams.